Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, January 25th. Thanks for tuning in for News 3 Now. Well, I have to admit, this morning when I was posting my preview of News 3 Now, I typed Thursday. And then I begrudgingly deleted it and typed Tuesday because, alas, today is Tuesday. It is the beginning of the week, and I was trying to skip ahead until Thursday, but it is Tuesday. And we're just going to be thankful that we've got this beautiful day, the beautiful week to get through instead of trying to rush to the weekend like apparently I was subconsciously doing this morning. All right, y'all, we've got some news headlines to get through and then some fun stories, but we're going to start with news headlines per usual. And then today, when we usually take our break at 12 o'clock, we're actually going to be taking a live look at College Station because this old City Hall building is being demolished today. The demolition started at about 10 o'clock, but it is expected to last about 6 hours. So News 3's Fallon Appleton is out there. She'll be live with us. So we will take a look at the demolition taking place because who doesn't like watching old buildings being crushed to the ground? I guess it's going to be pretty cool. So we will do that at 12 o'clock. That's just something to look forward to. Like I said, news headlines first. We're going to take a look at that building being torn down and then some fun stories to end our show today. Sound good? All right, Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday, January 25th, News 3 Now. Let's do this. We're going to start with this, the tragedy that struck in Texas. Just in the last week, 3 Houston area law enforcement officers have lost their lives. Well, now a $60,000 reward is being offered for information about a suspect in one of those deaths. Houston police filed capital murder charges today against 51-year-old Oscar Rosales. Chief Troy Finner says that Rosales fatally shot a deputy constable during a traffic stop early Sunday morning. Well, they're now looking for any information that leads to his arrest.
We're working with every law enforcement, federal, local, the airports, the bus stations, every part of our border in Texas. We need the eyes and the ears of all of our citizens to help us bring this suspect in custody.
Galloway was 47 years old. Harris County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ramon Gutierrez was also killed in a hit-and-run crash early this morning. He had gotten off of his motorcycle to block an exit ramp on the highway. A driver hit Gutierrez when she swerved around his motorcycle while trying to exit. She didn't stop, and when authorities caught up to the driver, they say she appeared to be intoxicated. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says another deputy died last week after taking her own life. And a Houston police K-9 was injured after being stabbed by a robbery suspect on Saturday. Well, good news here is that K-9 Nate had a successful surgery and is expected to make a full recovery. Dozens of law enforcement officers paid their respects yesterday to a fallen state trooper. DPS Special Agent Anthony Salas's body was flown to his home in El Paso. Salas was killed in a rollover crash on Friday while helping to transport 6 people who had illegally crossed into the county near Eagle Pass. The 37-year-old officer died Saturday morning with his family by his side. The man in custody for shooting 2 New York City police officers over the weekend has died from his injuries. LaShawn McNeil was accused of killing one officer and critically injuring another. Authorities said McNeil opened fire at the officers on Friday as they responded to a domestic call. In the exchange of gunfire with police, McNeil was shot by a 3rd officer. College Station police are warning us about bank jugging. That's when a criminal follows a bank customer from the bank to another location. Then the suspect tries to steal the cash. They either break into their vehicle or they rob them. College Station police say the driver of this SUV is suspected of 2 bank juggings on Friday. If you have any information about this, call CSPD. Well, police had a lot more to say about this incident, including ways to protect yourself against bank jugging. We shared that information on our website. The Brenham Police Department is also investigating a burglary. It happened at a restaurant. Surveillance cameras caught several people breaking into Andrea's taco shop last week. Police say several items went missing. The Washington County Crime Stoppers number is the number to call. They're offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of these people. No word yet on what started a fire that destroyed a barn in Waller County. This happened yesterday morning about 6 miles north of the city of Waller. The fire marshal says the barn had hay and equipment inside. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. A Madison County family is working to get their life back on track after a fire destroyed their home. The cause is still under investigation, but the home is a complete loss. News 3's Donnie Tuggle spoke with the renter of the home as she's leaning on her faith to get her through.
Ash and rubble are all that's left of Tabitha Kemp's home in Midway. A suspected electrical fire destroyed the house, but not her faith.
Just doing what I can to get by right now. I can't even work right now because I clean houses and all my cleaning supplies was in the house.
Even though the place she's called home for years is a total loss, she knows everything is going to be okay.
I felt like it was a message that needed to be delivered right now, because even though the devil comes in and destroys everything, I feel like his word is still there for us.
That word coming from these two items, Bibles, that survived the flames.
Now, even on my worst days, I can sit down and I look at those Bibles and I know he's going to be there for me.
Sheila Carlo is Tabitha's longtime friend. She says other friends and community members are doing what they can to help the mother get back on her feet.
Once you see her and you talk to her for a second, you'll understand that, she's sweet.
Both Tabitha and Sheila say though things may look gloomy, two charred Bibles are giving them hope.
That just shows that God's with us, and, we just got to keep our faith and stay strong and believe that everything's going to be okay.
No matter what happens in your life or what happens anytime, that as long as you keep the faith, that you're going to see it through.
In Midway, Donnie Tuggle, News 3.
Old Tabitha is in the process of setting up a GoFundMe, but businesses in Midway are collecting donations. We have that information with this story at kbtx.com. In international news, all eyes are on Russia. More than 127,000 Russian troops have amassed at the Ukrainian border, waiting on word from Russian President Vladimir Putin. But war between the two countries began nearly 8 years ago when Russia annexed Crimea, which has a major port on the Black Sea. Russian-backed separatists also took control of the Donbass region, an ongoing conflict that's claimed some 13,000 lives. Well, with Russian troops at the border now, there's fear this war will escalate. The Pentagon says as many as 8,500 U.S. troops have been put on heightened alert for a possible deployment to Eastern Europe.
They'll come from bases throughout the United States, and they'll be, if they're deployed, they would deploy as part of the NATO response force.
Well, U.S. officials say there's still room for diplomacy, but they're watching the situation closely. Back here in the U.S., the Supreme Court will take on a case looking at race-based affirmative action in college admissions. Justices will hear challenges to policies at some universities that use race as one of the criteria to decide admissions. This throws in doubt prior precedents set by the Supreme Court in 1978 and 2003. Lower courts have ruled in favor of the schools, saying it fulfills compelling interests in diversity. The High Court isn't expected to hear the case until October. As you prep that paperwork for your tax return, the IRS is warning about possible delays for your refund. The issue is due to a backlog of close to 10 million returns. Now, staffing problems have become a big issue too. Since 2010, the number of tax returns is up 19%, but the agency's funding and staffing are down close to 20%. One thing officials say could help ease stress on the IRS is the Build Back Better plan. The plan includes $80 billion to strengthen the IRS, but it's still stalled in the Senate. The deadline to file your taxes is April 18th. Some things to remember when you're filing: Try to get it done online. The IRS also says one way to ensure a quick refund is to opt for a direct deposit payment. Remember to have all the proper documents before you sit down to start your filing process, and always make sure that you have accurate information, especially with stimulus payments and child tax credits. The federal government is launching a website for parents. They say this site will help people who were eligible for the expanded child tax credit last year claim the second half of the payment. Now, this website is childtaxcredit.gov. Childtaxcredit.gov. If families received half of their expanded 2021 credit on a monthly basis, they'll get the other half once they file their taxes. For tax year 2022, the child tax payment reverts to $2,000 annually per child, 17 and younger. If you get paid for goods and services on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, you might be affected by a new tax rule. Payment app providers must now issue users a 1099-K form if they make more than $600 through business transactions during the year. Previously, the form was only issued if a user had more than 200 business transactions in a year, totaling at least $20,000. This applies to any payment for a good or service, including tips. So reimbursing a friend for dinner or receiving money for a group gift, that does not count. Payment app providers will be using consumer prompts and interfaces to help classify the transactions. The rule is meant to make it harder for people to evade paying taxes owed. Forms won't be going out until early 2023, since the change starts this tax year. People making money through Airbnb and Etsy are also impacted by this new rule. First-time home buyers are hoping they'll have better luck this year after record low inventory and soaring demand left many outbid and sidelined last year. Well, the real estate market is still red hot, and new data out this month shows that will likely continue. Here's a closer look at the 3 trends experts are predicting for this year.
When it comes to the real estate market, realtors say 2022 is shaping up to be another competitive year.
When the springtime comes, we're going to see a bloodbath. Everyone is going to be looking to buy a home.
The median home price is nearly $350,000, up almost 17% from 2020, according to the National Association of Realtors. And the 30-year fixed rate loan is at 3.56%, back up to pre-pandemic levels. So, does this mean the American dream of owning a home is even more out of reach this year?
Definitely a stressful and a fun time. I think kind of all bundled up into one. I mean, it's a big life decision.
Here are 3 trends buyers can expect this year. Number 1, home prices will go up. The good news is they won't climb as fast as last year. Number 2, mortgage rates will also rise. In just the last month, we've seen mortgage rates jump half a point. Rates are rising because the Federal Reserve has said it plans to raise interest rates.
I have a couple folks who were considering purchasing 6 months ago or 9 months ago who maybe are kicking themselves a little bit now since they didn't capitalize on the even lower interest rates.
And 3, inventory will grow. Experts project more homes could become available, but the number of buyers will also grow. That means homes will continue to sell very fast.
I think when there's such limited supply and so many people that want to buy a house, even if interest rates go up, it's not going to affect home affordability.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, for the home buyers still in the market right now, realtors give 2 tips. 1, try to get pre-qualified for a loan now so that if you see a home you like, you can jump right on it. And 2, try to lock in a low mortgage rate now. Some mortgage rate brokers will let you lock in a rate for about 60 days. So that way you're getting today's price versus the mortgage rates that are going to be rising throughout the rest of the year. Well, hey, go out and support your favorite local restaurant this week. We all know that the restaurant industry is continuing to feel the impact of the pandemic. The National Restaurant Association says 88% of restaurants have experienced a decline in demand in recent weeks due to the Omicron variant, and a new survey found that 76% of restaurant operators are seeing a decline in business, even worse than just a few months ago. The hardship comes as restaurants are still trying to recoup losses from the last 2 years. Yesterday, the National Restaurant Association sent a letter to Congress asking lawmakers to replenish the nearly $29 billion restaurant revitalization fund in the upcoming legislative package. The fund ran out of money last year, awarding grants to just a third of those restaurant operators that applied. The Center for COVID Control. That's the name of the testing site locally that's run into some trouble. Well, now the FBI has started their own probe into the company's Illinois headquarters. According to USA Today, the company and its main labs are under investigation. Authorities are looking into its operations after the state of Minnesota filed lawsuit. The AG there is alleging the lab provided inaccurate and deceptive test results. Well, dozens of people across 18 states have expressed their concerns. The Center for COVID Control is fully cooperating in the investigation. And, well, because this is an ongoing investigation, no additional information is available at this time. Average daily COVID-19 cases are starting to trend downward, but hospitalizations continue to rise. While the current variant appears to not be as deadly as Delta, especially among those who are vaccinated and boosted, the U.S. health experts warn don't underestimate the Omicron variant.
The stunning thing about Omicron is how remarkably infectious it is. I've been doing infectious disease control for 30 years, and with the possible exception of measles, it is the most infectious virus I've seen. The biggest risk is that the fact that we are all so very tired of COVID will lead to us letting down our guard, and if another variant comes, we won't respond effectively. The virus is adapting. As long as we adapt, we can move forward. If we don't adapt to the virus, it's going to continue to get ahead of us, because no one, and I want to emphasize this, no one can predict with accuracy what's coming after Omicron.
Frieden says that part of being ready for what comes next includes vaccinating as many people as possible, wearing masks, especially in crowded indoor settings, and more rapid COVID testing. Well, hey, the first free N95 masks are arriving at U.S. pharmacies across the Midwest. Stores in the Southeast should get shipments later this week. The Biden administration's program is expected to be fully up and running by early February. Up to 3 free masks are available to every person in the U.S. And some Americans have started receiving their free COVID tests provided by the government, too. Supplies there are limited to 4 tests per household. You can order them at special.usps.com or covidtests.gov. More free COVID testing will be offered this week in Grimes County. Drive-through testing will take place on Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Navasota Center, the B-Dice Civic Center, and Todd Mission City Hall. No appointment is necessary. All you have to do is bring a photo ID. All right, let's take a look now at some COVID numbers in our area. So I told you yesterday that Adrian was working so hard to completely remodel our COVID-19 dashboard so that you have all of this information in one space after the health district here announced that they were no longer going to be reporting those numbers on the county level and to refer to the state's dashboard. So we put it all together in one place. Here's what it looks like now. This is our new COVID-19 dashboard. The layout of course, looks the same. You're like, well, I've seen this before, Abigail. Right. But let's take a look at some of the new things that we've got here. So if you see the top left corner, we're talking about new confirmed cases. New confirmed cases are what the health district or the state is reporting today in Brazos County. There are 352 new confirmed cases, which means that those people tested positive through a PCR test. The PCR tests are the ones that take a little bit longer to give you your results. There's 7 new probable cases. Probable cases are people who test through a PCR test, an antigen test. The antigen tests are the quick ones, the rapid tests that show you your results in, 12 to 15 minutes. Or people who have been exposed to COVID, they're a close contact, and now they're experiencing symptoms. Probable cases, confirmed cases. These are things that you can find on the state's DSHS COVID-19 dashboard as well. But if you don't want to go to that dashboard because it's a little more confusing, here's all of that information on our dashboard in one place. This is what we're seeing right now. Now, they've got a whole bunch of stuff down here. This is stuff pandemic, the entirety of the pandemic, right? So this total number of confirmed cases, this is from when we started recording in 2020 all the way up till today, okay? And this is the amount of tests they've administered. So what we're really looking at, if you want to know what's going on right now, is up here. So that's why we put it at the top. There are 352 new confirmed cases, 7 probable cases, 45 people in the hospital for COVID, making up just under 23%. Again, these are total numbers since the beginning of the pandemic. We've got total number of deaths. These are also since the beginning of the pandemic. And we've got this confirmed case rolling 5-day total. All right, so this is going to be for Monday through Friday. So the health district has told us that the state dashboard only updates Monday through Friday. So that's where you get the 5-day average. All right, so this is the rolling 5-day total. So this is what we're looking at for this week, how many active cases we currently have here in the Brazos County. Again, all of this information coming from the DSHS COVID-19 dashboard for the state of Texas now, because the health district is no longer reporting our numbers for the county. Now, health officials in Brazos County are hoping that the state data is going to keep us informed on what COVID-19 is doing here in the community. Remember, on Friday, the health district announced that they are going to stop reporting data locally. Well, as News 3's Clay Falls learned, the health district director hopes to improve the other services that the health district offers.
The Brazos County Health District says they're still working on understanding COVID in our community, but their efforts will look different.
We were funded a few months back with a workforce development grant that will allow us to expand services, our current services. We were having to use those staff that we hired to do the workforce development grant to help us with the surge in COVID cases.
Director of the Health District, Santos Navarrete, says they were falling behind trying to keep track of COVID cases. The decision to rely on state-supplied data should help them expand services like immunization hours, physicals for student athletes, driver physicals, and more.
We're looking at partnering with the College of Medicine is establishing a women's health program.
I asked Health District leadership, including Vice Chairman John Nichols, about concerns the community has with the change.
This decision to not report the local data from the local sources starting today was a carefully considered management decision based on the fact that we weren't getting all of the data from all of the various clinics that were doing testing in a real-time way.
While the local dashboard has disappeared, Navarrete said you can still find information from the state DSHS site and the health district.
But we also have a one-pager on there now that will give the number of cases, the deaths, hospitalizations, the tests that have been administered. So that will be readily available to the community.
Clay Falls, News 3.
Well, the health district told us that some of their new programs are going to be starting in the next coming weeks. They also told us that their funding for COVID is expected to last until March of next year. Over the past 2 years, the most serious effects of the COVID pandemic have happened mostly behind closed doors, in private homes and hospitals, where more than 800,000 Americans have died and many more have been sick. Well, this morning, we have a story of a remarkable nurse who documented part of that enormous human toll in photographs. CBS News lead national correspondent David Begnaud has that story.
When Alan Hawes goes to work at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston, he brings with him a special ability, a talent, really, that he uses when he cares for the sickest of the sick COVID patients. He takes pictures of what you and I would usually never see. Because before he became a nurse 11 years ago, he spent 23 years as a newspaper photographer. And that gives him the ability to tell the stories of these patients.
This is a gentleman named Ryan Simpson. We had to send him emergently to our cardiac ICU.
And y'all believe COVID is what damaged the heart so severely?
Oh yeah. His heart was beating so fast for many days that...
How fast?
135 to 165. And this is his wife, Sarah. So this is the first moment that she saw him that day and was, I think, kind of taken aback by all the people in the room as they were preparing to take him to the operating room.
So many frontline workers have said to us, if only the public could see what we see. Well, Alan Hawes convinced the largest hospital in South Carolina to allow him to give sight to what those caregivers routinely see.
This is a woman who was very sick. She was with us for a long, long time, and her family brought in this prayer cloth.
The family wasn't able to visit, but this prayer cloth
Yes.
was sort of their representative.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to the lady?
She didn't make it.
His pictures document COVID's grip as it tightens.
And he was totally there. As you can see, he's texting people on his cell phone, telling them what's going on.
But why did you want to capture this?
I felt like I knew where he was going.
And what happened?
This is what happened.
Oh.
So 2 days later, I walked in and there he was.
Vaccinated?
He is unvaccinated.
So you're now at a place, if I'm hearing you right, where you're like, c'est la vie, it is what it is. Don't want to get vaccinated, wind up here.
I have quite a few times had a patient who's unvaccinated, and I'll think to myself, you did this to yourself. But that doesn't last long. It's part of being a good nurse is having empathy. Once you hear the stories of some of our patients from their family members, you can become a fan of that person, and you just know that they made a bad decision.
You humanize them.
Yeah.
You're mad at them when they come in the door, and then you start to find out who they are.
I've had some really hard times with that. I mean, nurses are broken right now, emotionally.
Are you?
I feel like I am, yes.
How long did you have to work over the hospital to get permission to do this?
1.5 years. Yeah, I think the time when I got approval to do the project, I titled my email Public Service Project. And I think that's what made the difference.
Every time he gets permission to photograph, either from the patients or their family members.
I think people have a message that they want to get out there.
The mother holding a picture of the newborn she can't touch. The girlfriend who keeps a bedside journal.
Stephen James Lavender, you know that I love you with all of my heart and soul. You better not ever leave me.
Every night, I tell all my patients, all my family members, this is a roller coaster. This is 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
This is Alan's colleague, a nurse. He's triple vaccinated, but a lifelong asthma patient.
With all due respect, this is one example where a picture doesn't actually do it justice.
No, it doesn't. This is a picture where I was like, man, I wish I had video.
Give me a second.
No, yeah, you slow down and...
Well, our producer was in the room with the video camera.
Breathing. I don't need anything else exacerbated anymore.
I do wonder whether some people are going to be like, put that camera down and pay attention, just like full-time nurse.
Yeah, well, when I'm doing that, they're not my patients. I don't take pictures of my own patients. Kim, can you open your eyes for me?
27-year-old Kim was an exception.
This is Kim. She's such a unique person that she was able to tolerate the ventilator and not need a ton of sedation.
And so what did she write on the board for you?
It says, I feel miserable here. Tell us that you can hear us. Can you squeeze our hand? So as that day went on, she ended up getting a little bit more sick. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. And we ordered music therapy for her.
You think Kim's going to make it?
I think so. She's just got like such a spark of life. I can't imagine if she has anything to do with it.
Finally,
This is Mr. Croxton. He had the heartstrings of about every nurse in our unit, I think, when he was there.
Joel David Croxton was 72 years old when he died. This was the nurse who broke down after she called his wife to tell her it was time to come in and say goodbye. His wife Sandy holding his hand. A nurse holding an iPad while a chaplain prayed with him. This was the picture of Croxton that worried Alan Hawes. Would it be too painful for his wife to see? Then again, Hawes usually never sees the families again.
Someone would like to see you.
On this day, they did. Alan Hawes saw Sandy Croxton again.
How are you doing?
This time they just held each other. No pictures needed. Just thank you. To each other. David Begnaud, CBS News, New York.
I know I'm not the only one in tears right now, right? Whew. That's crazy. Whew. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. Wow. How powerful. Oh my goodness. Deep breath, y'all. We can do this. We can get through the rest of the show. All right. Well, hey, the COVID vaccine could eventually become a yearly shot. The CEO of Pfizer says that he wants people to get a yearly COVID vaccine like the flu shot instead of having to get a booster shot every several months.
It is easier to convince people to do it. It is easier for people to remember. From public health perspective, it is an ideal situation.
Well, right now, Pfizer is also looking to create a vaccine that protects against Omicron and other current variants. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Pfizer and BioNTech have begun a clinical trial for an Omicron-specific COVID-19 vaccine. The companies say that they're studying the safety, tolerability, and level of immune response in 1,400 healthy adults aged 18 to 55. Some patients will be getting the vaccine as both a primary dose and a booster dose. And despite this new clinical trial, Pfizer doesn't expect production of the original vaccine to be affected. They still plan to produce 4 billion doses in 2022. Pfizer also emphasizes that people who are already boosted have a high level of protection against Omicron. The COVID-19 vaccine, like I said, could eventually become a yearly shot, according to Pfizer's CEO, saying that, it's like the flu shot. Instead of them having to get a booster shot every couple of months, it might be easier to convince people to get vaccinated that way. Pfizer continuing to look into an Omicron-specific vaccine, but saying that if you are fully boosted already, that you do have enough protection against the Omicron variant. The FDA is actually going to be revoking some emergency authorization for Regeneron and Eli Lilly's antiviral drugs. So here's what's going on. U.S. health regulators say that the antibody drugs should no longer be used because they do not work against the Omicron variant. The FDA says that if the drugs prove effective against future variants, then they will reauthorize their use. But for right now, they are pulling that emergency use authorization because they say it does not work against the Omicron variant. A Texas A&M study shows that the old age, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, isn't necessarily true. Their research found that people who are repeatedly exposed to disasters, either natural disasters or man-made, experience negative mental health impacts over time. News 3's Andy Krause explains what these findings mean for people who are seeking help and future response efforts.
It probably comes as little surprise that living through a disaster has negative impacts on mental health. But a new Texas A&M study shows that experience doesn't better prepare someone to go through another one. As a matter of fact, it found very much the opposite.
As we saw individuals getting 2, 3, or 4 different experiences, or even 5 with hazards, we began to see a marked decrease in mental health. even over a standard deviation of what you'd expect at the national level.
Sansom and his team studied over 1,100 people from the greater Houston area and their responses to a standardized mental health survey. He says the risks for people to experience these hazards in the future are only projected to increase.
So it's important that we understand both the impact it has on mental health, but then also be able to provide the services that folks need to be able to recover in a meaningful way and resume their lives.
Dana Martinez is a local counselor who says PTSD and trauma are some of the more common impacts disasters can have on people.
You're going to have flashback memories, sleep disturbances, feeling like you're re-experiencing it, high trauma, high anxiety.
Martinez says we need to move beyond the traditional expectation of what causes trauma in order to treat it better.
Let's normalize going to talk to somebody. Let's make it a priority to help everybody get a safe place where they can be heard, they can not feel crazy, they can be understood.
Andy Krause, News 3.
Sansom says that it's important to note that the information they collected for the study was immediately prior to the pandemic. If you're looking for mental health resources, we'll have a useful link with that story on our webpage, kbtx.com. Well, all right, you know, we all know that exercise is obviously good for us, but did you know that just 10 minutes a day, that's what does the body good? It's all you need. On Monday, the medical journal JAMA International Medicine published a study on the impact of modest daily physical activity. The study looked at the physical activity of over 4,800 adults between the ages of 40 to 85 for 1 week. Researchers found just 10 minutes a day of modest to vigorous exercise could prevent about 110,000 deaths every year. They reported similar benefits between participants of different genders and races. Researchers say the more physical activity, the greater the benefits. I think that that's a great study. I think that it's really important to note that they're saying 10 minutes, right? We all hear so many different things about what it takes to be healthy, and it can be really overwhelming, especially if you're just starting. But if all you have to do is move your body for 10 minutes to start that healthy lifestyle that you've been wanting to start, hey, that's a good place to start. 10 minutes a day, and then you work your way up, and then eventually you're running marathons, and then ultra marathons, right? Maybe. I don't know. That's what I want to do someday, but we're not all, you know, gonna get there, especially probably me. Well, hey, okay, so don't forget that you can get some free, oh my gosh, I can't believe I put this story. So when I put this show together, all of this is me, right? So I decide which stories follow which stories, and I made a mistake. I put this story about how much exercise we need and how we're looking to be healthier right before the story about getting free Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sorry to throw that at you. I was about to read it and then I realized I just said, how great that we're all going to be super healthy. By the way, do you want some free donuts? Well, okay, let's say this way. If we all are getting movement and our bodies are feeling healthier, we're exercising, we're so much healthier than we were before, then we deserve to get some donuts because life is about balance, all right? You don't need to eat healthy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can eat some donuts and you can also save lives. So that is the best part of this. You can save lives and get some free Krispy Kreme donuts. That's just the added bonus. So not only are you going to be saving people's lives, you can also get free Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme donuts, trying to help as the United States faces its worst blood shortage in more than 10 years. The chain is offering free donuts this week to people who donate blood. Well, to get a free dozen, customers have to order in person and show their donation sticker. They can also confirm their donation on the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Well, since March of 2020, the Red Cross says it's seen a 10% drop in donations. Factors include canceled blood drives, staffing limitations, weather-related closures, and of course, a surge in COVID-19 cases. Well, hey, Texas A&M Student Health Services actually posted something incredibly helpful about blood donations that I wanted to share with all of you because these are some very frequently asked questions about giving blood. So if you're interested in giving blood, maybe you've never done it before and you just are feeling a little weird about it, here's some questions that you might have answered right here. FAQs about donating blood from the Texas A&M Student Health Services. How much blood is taken? Well, about half of a liter. If I feel sick, can I still donate blood? No, you do have to be in good health. Make sure you eat, make sure that you're up to date on your shots, make sure that you're feeling healthy, drinking water. How long does it take to donate? This was the one that gets me. See, I always thought it was longer. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to donate. I mean, that is like barely anything out of your day. Who needs blood? Well, a lot of people, victims of accidents, people having surgery, organ recipients, people with cancer, and I mean, really so many more people. So if you have more questions about donating blood, you can visit aabb.org. Or if you're ready to sign up to donate blood, you think, yep, just got my questions answered, I want to save lives and get some free Krispy Kreme donuts, you can visit giveblood.org. All right, and that is how you can sign up locally. We've got the Red Cross here in Brazos Valley and Bryan, and then we've also got the Blood Center over in College Station. There's 2 options. You can make an appointment at either one of those places to save lives and get yourself some free Krispy Kreme donuts too. The District of Columbia, D.C., and 3 states, including Texas, are suing Google. The Attorney Generals allege that the internet search giant deceives consumers and invades their privacy by making it nearly impossible to stop their location from being tracked. They claim it happens to all of Google's users, whether they're on a computer or using an Apple or Android device. A Google spokesman says the case is based on inaccurate claims and outdated information. This is a crazy change. No more number 2 pencils. I don't mean they're going to stop making them. I mean that the College Board has announced that the SAT is shifting to an online format. What? The standardized college entrance exam is going digital for American students in 2024 and for international students in 2023. It will still take place in a proctored setting, but students will bring their own computers, and if they don't have one, then the College Board will give them a lunar computer to use for the day of the test. The changed format shortens the test from 3 hours to about 2. The College Board says the new exam uses adaptive learning to reduce the time students spend answering questions that are too easy or too hard. Students will also get their results back within days compared to the several weeks with the previous format. All right, so after hearing that story, I want to hear your opinion. For anyone out there who's listening who took the SAT test and went to their tutor and prepped for months and months and months with the flashcards and the math problems, and then they took that test and they brought their snack, right? And they're bubbling in answers. How do you feel about them going to a digital format, shortening the length of the test? It's going to be online. I don't know. For me, I think I've told y'all this before. I am a very tangible person. I like to have a planner that I write stuff down on. I like to have a piece of paper. I like to have my scripts in my hand with like printed out. I like things that are physical. Like it's hilarious that I'm saying this. And if Josh or Michael, one of my bosses, are watching, yes, it's hilarious. Like I am the digital anchor. I'm doing all of this digital production stuff. I am not fantastic with it when it comes to like using a digital planner, Outlook calendars, or anything like that. I like to write stuff down. I have a big, huge calendar on my desk. I have a journal, I have a planner, and I write stuff down with a pen on paper. So as far as my opinion goes, that's insane and I would hate it. And I'm so happy that my SATs are over and done with. Those were so hard, studied so hard for those, but I cannot imagine if it was online. But I think that a lot of the generation that is going to be taking those tests from 2024 on is going to really love it, right? We're growing up and they're growing up in the digital age where everything pretty much is technology and, you know, you just tap of a screen or an app or whatever. So they're going to be way better at that than I am. I'm not even that old, but I am right on the cusp of being millennial versus Gen Z. and I relate much more to millennials than I do to the Gen Zers. I wish I was that cool, but I am not. Gen Zers are way cooler than I am. I don't know. Let me know your opinion about that. I think that that's a really interesting thing. I think it's a really interesting change, and I'm interested to hear more about that. That's really interesting. All right. Well, here's some super, super fun breaking news. Opus is offering some discounted tickets for 2 of their upcoming shows. This is so awesome. So, the musicals that are coming up are Beautiful, the Carole King musical, and Rent, the 25th anniversary farewell tour. So these tickets are just $25 for rear orchestra and mezzanine seats in Rudder Auditorium. This is so awesome. All right, so there's a promo code, and it's only being offered today, and that promo code actually expires at midnight. So let me pull up this information for us. All right. So there is a flash sale today only. You can get $25 tickets. That's an amazing price to see Beautiful, the Carole King musical, or Rent, the 25th anniversary farewell tour. There is a promo code. It's right here. All right. This is the promo code. So go to mscopus.org. Again, this is only happening today. The flash sale ends tonight at midnight. This is where you go, okay? So you can get tickets right here for either Beautiful, the Carole King musical, which is happening February 4th and 5th, or Rent on the 16th and 17th. And if you click on sale now, you will be able to enter your promo code right there. Boom. What's our promo code? 25 tickets. Go. Woohoo! The promotional code you have entered was accepted. That is awesome. All right, so $25 tickets to go see Broadway musicals right here at Rudder Auditorium. MSC Opus is doing this amazing flash sale today only. If you love musical theater, go get your tickets. $25 tickets to see professional Broadway actors. Oh my gosh, get out of here. This is such an awesome, awesome, awesome thing that is happening right here in College Station. All right, one more awesome thing happening at Opus. The Brazos Valley Jazz Society and Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts at Texas A&M is hosting a jazz concert this week. That concert is taking place on Thursday, the 27th, so this Thursday at 7 p.m. Taking center stage will be the Brubeck Brothers Quartet, and yes, 2 of the members are the sons of Dave Brubeck. Now, tickets for that concert are $12, but $5 for students. So $12 for us, $5 for students. Same website. You can go to the MSC box office or boxoffice.tamu.edu for the tickets. They're only $12. Again, that jazz concert is happening Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pretty cool of Opus to do that for us. All right, well, hey, yesterday was a super exciting day for Bryan ISD as school leaders hosted a groundbreaking ceremony for an addition to Rudder High School. The new addition will include 14 new classrooms, restrooms, and a new assistant principal's office. This allows the school, this means that the school will be able to get rid of their portable classrooms.
We take a lot of pride in our school and our facilities, and so, I mean, it's no secret we were kind of bummed as we kept bringing new portables in, but the good news is our school is growing, and so now to be able to have a building that's decorated in our school colors and it's connected to the building, we're really excited about it.
Well, the addition to Rudder High School is expected to be completed by December of this year. That is a fast construction project. Pretty awesome for Bryan ISD and Rudder High School with that expansion. Well, all right, y'all, the time has come for the old College Station City Hall building to come down. Now, interior demolition work has been underway at the old City Hall, but this morning the exterior demolition began. It's going to take about 6 weeks to take down everything, and once all demolition is done and cleaned up, Work will begin to transform the area into a beautiful green space and some more parking. Well, hey, News 3's Fallon Appleton is actually live right now at the College Station City Hall, the old College Station City Hall, that is, just giving us a live look at some of that demolition process. It started at about 10 o'clock, so it's been going on for just about 2 hours so far this morning. We're going to go live to College Station, then I'll give you a couple more stories, and then during the break, I'll leave that live stream up just in case anything awesome happens. Maybe they'll bring in, you know, like a wrecking ball or something. Who doesn't love watching old buildings be destroyed? It's a pretty cool thing. Check this out. This is happening right now live in College Station at the old City Hall building. Like I said, plan is that once this is completely taken down and cleaned up, the work will begin to create a beautiful green space and a little bit of additional parking over in College Station. So that's pretty cool. It is expected that this entire process is going to take about 6 weeks. So we're not going to see it completely done and cleaned up today, but hey, 6 weeks, that's not that long. That's a pretty good timeline for us. All right, we'll take that feed one more time during our 12 o'clock break, but let me tell you something super cool. It was a giant leap for NASA's newest telescope as it arrived to its final destination far out in space. And scientists promise its $10 billion price tag will deliver some priceless images. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
Liftoff from a tropical rainforest.
It was calm in the control room, but a lot on the line as NASA scientists carefully positioned their $10 billion telescope in its new home in deep space.
We're now at our orbital destination and soon enough be able to make amazing discoveries.
The James Webb Telescope launched from South America last month. Its final destination, 1 million miles from Earth. That's roughly 4 times further than the moon.
During that first year of observations, we have detailed plans to look at lots of objects in our solar system. From Mars, some of the moons of the outer planets.
Webb's mission is to peer into the universe's past and better understand the Big Bang. It's designed to see light from the very first stars, with the largest mirror ever deployed to space, a so-called golden eye more than 21 feet across, made of 18 gold-plated segments.
To capture infrared heat waves, Webb has to operate at minus 400 degrees. It has a heat shield the size of a tennis court. And now that it's in place, scientists are calibrating it millimeter by millimeter from 1 million miles away.
We will be looking at things in the universe ranging from objects within our own solar system all the way out to searching for the very first galaxies to be born after the Big Bang.
Webb will work together with the Hubble Space Telescope, and we should see its first images within a few months as it begins a deep space mission that could last a decade. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Webb is said to be 100 times more sensitive than the 30-year-old Hubble Space Telescope, which orbits just about 330 miles above the Earth. I love space stuff. All right, well, check this out. An amazing rescue was caught on camera showing the quick actions and combined strength of a group trying to help a woman who was trapped under a car. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Police officers and a bystander in Delaware saved a woman pinned under an SUV by lifting the vehicle off of her, and it was all caught on camera. A warning, some may find the video disturbing. Newcastle County officials told affiliate WPVI the 70-year-old became pinned after exiting the vehicle before putting it in park. After a neighbor's attempt to use a jack failed, the rescuers used their combined strength to free the woman. She was later taken to a hospital and treated for injuries. Officials commended the officers and bystanders, saying their quick thinking and physical actions protected the woman from further injury and possibly death. The FBI and officials in St. Louis, Missouri would like to wish you a happy Explosive Ordnance Recovery Week. Oh, it's a thing, all right. It's an effort to safely remove and dispose of potentially dangerous military ordnance in the community.
Seeing the stuff people find in swap meets, you find it in your uncle's basement. It's something that's been handed down from years.
It started off with a bang as video of a Civil War cannonball being safely destroyed was showcased. Authorities say the effort isn't to prosecute anyone, just to keep people safe. Finally, people in Sunnyvale, California are avoiding bombs, but these are coming from a massive murder of crows that have taken over the town square. The Hitchcockian headache has been an issue for some time and has inspired many ideas to fend off the flock, such as laser pointers and even faux crow scarecrows.
We should just have that as Sunnyvale's mascot and really lean into it.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, well, a super quick recap of some of our headlines today before we take our break for the 12 o'clock newscast. First and foremost, the first free N95 masks are arriving now at U.S. pharmacies in the Midwest. Well, stores in the Southeast should be getting shipments of those masks later this week. The Biden administration's program is expected to be fully up and running by early February. Up to 3 free masks will be available to every person in the U.S. And hey, some Americans have started receiving those free at-home COVID tests provided by the government too. Supplies are limited to 4 tests per household, and you can order those at covidtests.gov. All right, I told you about the nationwide blood shortage, right? So, to help, if you have questions, Texas A&M Student Health Services actually posted something that was extremely helpful because it is National Blood Donor Month. So what better time to go and donate blood than during a nationwide blood shortage while you can get free Krispy Kreme, and because it's National Blood Donor Month. I mean, the combination, wow, it's the time, okay? So here's some frequently asked questions about donating blood, like how much blood is going to be taken, if you feel sick, can you donate? How long does my blood donation take, and who needs this blood? The answer is a lot of people. I mean, victims of accidents, people in surgery, people getting new organs, people with cancer, so many more. You are going to be saving lives if you donate blood, and you can get some free Krispy Kreme donuts while you're at it. So if you have more questions about donating blood and just the whole process, you can visit aabb.org. And if your questions are answered and you want to go sign up, you can go to giveblood.org, or you can call the local Red Cross over in Bryan, or you can call the Blood Center in College Station. They would both be very happy to take those donations from you. And hey, one more thing, it's tax season, y'all. Tax season kicked off yesterday. And as you're prepping that paperwork for your tax return, the IRS is warning about possible delays for your refund. The issue is due to a backlog of close to 10 million returns. Well, now staffing problems have become a big issue too. Since 2010, the number of tax returns is up 19%, but the agency's funding and staffing are down close to 20%. One thing officials say could help ease stress on the IRS is the Build Back Better plan. The plan includes $80 billion to strengthen the IRS, but it's stalled in the Senate. The deadline to file your taxes is April 18th. All right, some things to remember when you are filing. 1, try to get it done online. It's the easiest way and it's the quickest way. The IRS also says that one way to ensure a quick refund is to opt for a direct deposit payment. So link your bank account instead of waiting for a check in the mail. Now, this is a big one. Remember that before you sit down to file online, that you gather all of the proper documents before you start that process. And of course, make sure that you have accurate information, especially when it comes to stimulus payments and your child tax credits from last year, all right? Whew. Cannot believe that tax season is upon us. I gotta get all those documents in order before I sit down and process mine. Well, hey, this is actually super cool and super helpful. Next week, next Tuesday, February 1st, you are not going to want to miss News 3 Now. Put it in your calendars right now, because Michael Devine from the IRS is going to be joining us right here on News 3 Now live to talk to us about filing our taxes. It can be so stressful, and if you're not paying someone to help you with it, doing it yourself can be really overwhelming. Michael from the IRS is going to have a ton of tips and tricks, frequently asked questions. He's going to have it all for us Tuesday, 11 a.m. here on News 3 Now. You're not going to want to miss it. Put that in your calendar. Next Tuesday, week from today, February 1st, Michael Devine is joining us from the IRS live via Zoom to talk us through filing our taxes this season, things to watch out for when it comes to stimulus payments, child tax credits, the quickest way to get our refund, you name it. If you've got questions for him, let me know, because I will then relay those questions to him and he'll answer them right here live on News 3 Now. All right, y'all, it is time. It is 12 o'clock. Been talking to you for an hour already. Time is flying. Wow. All right, so here's the plan. We are going to take our 30-minute break. When we get back at 12:30, we've got a couple more fun stories to get through, and then I'm going to send you on your way probably about 15 minutes early, maybe 12:45-ish is when we'll end. We are going to try to take a live look at the College Station demolition happening, if I can figure that out. So right now, I'm going to pull up that standby for a live event slate. Bear with me. If I'm able to find the demolition, then we are going to take that feed. If not, it is going to be live on our 12 o'clock newscast at KBTX. So you can also watch on your TV if you're not able to watch it here on YouTube or on the website or on the app. All right, sound good? Cool. I will see you back here in 30 minutes on News 3 Now. Stay tuned. See you at 12:30.
Visibility very much improved as we head into this afternoon. The dense fog advisories that were in effect have expired, and now we just hold on to the cloud cover. Because of it, temperatures in the cooler, low to mid 50s across the Brazos Valley. Stepping out for any of those lunchtime plans, the question of the afternoon is going to be, can we find some of that cloud cover to break up? Maybe a few more peaks of sunshine. If so, daytime highs will likely try to reach for that 60-degree mark, but if we hold on to the cloud cover, temperatures likely staying in the 50s throughout the rest of the day. Pretty similar to the temperatures that we have on hand right now. Regardless, though, skies are expected to clear through the overnight. Temperatures tumbling as we see a cold front move through into the 30s, maybe a light freeze across our northern counties. We'll talk more about that in just a few.
Thanks, Mia. A nationwide manhunt continues today for this man. Oscar Rosales is wanted for the capital murder of Precinct 5 Corporal Charles Galloway. Early Sunday morning, Galloway pulled Rosales over during a traffic stop in Houston. Witnesses say Rosales got out of his car and opened fire on Galloway before he even got out of his patrol unit. The Harris County DA says locating him has not been easy.
Oscar Rosales is the name that he is known by now. It is not known under that name where his true citizenship is, what his true criminal history is, but this photograph tells you who we're looking for.
Houston police also say he's been known to change his appearance and could be in disguise. A $60,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to his capture. Galloway served in Harris County Precinct 5 Constable's office for more than 12 years. He leaves behind a daughter and sister. His colleagues say he was a mentor to many young law enforcement officers in Harris County. In your COVID-19 news, here's a look at the latest data across Trauma Service Area N. That makes up most of the Brazos Valley. Across the region, there are 126 people being treated in hospitals. There are 3 ICU beds available. The CDC reports the entire Brazos Valley remains under a high transmission rate for the virus. Pfizer and BioNTech have begun a clinical trial for an Omicron-specific COVID-19 vaccine. The companies say they are studying the safety, tolerability, and level of immune response in 1,400 healthy adults ages 18 to 55. Some patients will be getting the vaccine as both a primary dose and a booster dose. Pfizer doesn't expect production of the original vaccine to be affected. They still plan to produce 4 billion doses in 2022. Happening right now, demolition has begun on the old City Hall in College Station. Crews had already begun working demolishing the interior of the building, but work on the exterior started today. The old building will be replaced with green space and new parking. The process expected to take a few weeks. The original fire station will also be turned into a new tourism and visitors center. The SATs are going virtual. The College Board announced that the exam will shift to an online format for American students in 2024. It will change for international students next year. It will still take place in a monitored setting. The College Board says the new exam uses adaptive learning to reduce the time students spend answering questions that are too easy or too hard. Students will also get their results back within days compared to weeks with the previous format. First-time home buyers are hoping they'll have better luck in 2022 after record low inventory and soaring demand left many outbid and sidelined last year. The real estate market is still red hot, and new data out this month shows that will likely continue. Jen Sullivan reports.
When it comes to the real estate market, realtors say 2022 is shaping up to be another competitive year.
When the springtime comes, we're going to see a bloodbath. Everyone is going to be looking to buy a home.
The median home price is nearly $350,000, up almost 17% from 2020, according to the National Association of Realtors. And the 30-year fixed rate loan is at 3.56%, back up to pre-pandemic levels. So, does this mean the American dream of owning a home is even more out of reach this year?
Definitely a stressful and a fun time. I think kind of all bundled up into one. I mean, it's a big life decision.
Here are 3 trends buyers can expect this year. Number 1, home prices will go up. The good news is they won't climb as fast as last year. Number 2, mortgage rates will also rise. In just the last month, we've seen mortgage rates jump half a point. Rates are rising because the Federal Reserve has said it plans to raise interest rates.
I have a couple folks who were considering purchasing 6 months ago or 9 months ago who maybe are kicking themselves a little bit now since they didn't capitalize on the even lower interest rates.
And 3, inventory will grow. Experts project more homes could become available, but the number of buyers will also grow, and that means homes will continue to sell very fast.
I think when there's such limited supply and so many people that want to buy a house, even if interest rates go up, it's not going to affect home affordability.
For the home buyers still on the market right now, realtors give 2 tips. Try to get pre-qualified for a loan now so that if you see a home you like, you can jump on it. And 2, try to lock in a low mortgage rate now. Some brokers, mortgage rate brokers, will let you lock in a rate for about 60 days. So that way you're getting today's price versus the mortgage rates that are going to be rising throughout the year. 80 years later, a soldier who died at Pearl Harbor is finally laid to rest in San Antonio.
You sure you're ready for this? At some point I gotta find out, right?
All American. New episode this Monday at 8/7 Central.
Imagine waking up each morning to friendly faces and graceful surroundings. Imagine uncompromising hospitality and dedicated service. Imagine exceptional senior living. Situated on 14 beautiful wooded acres, Parkett Traditions has defined the art of hospitality for seniors in Aggieland. Welcome home to Parkett Traditions, where living your best life never felt so right.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably serve and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
The following rules cover contests conducted by KBTX Media, but may be superseded by separate rules for specific contests. No purchase necessary. One winner per household per contest. Due to internet streaming delays, online viewers of station programming may not be able to participate in on-air contests. Prizes must be claimed during regular business hours at our studios and are awarded pending verification of eligibility. Prizes are non-transferable and cannot be exchanged or redeemed for cash. Decisions of KBTX are final. We reserve the right to substitute a prize of equivalent value if the prize or any part of the prize becomes unavailable. Winners must present valid government-issued photo ID and information required for tax purposes. Winners or their parent or guardian, if winner is a minor, must claim prizes in person within 30 days of winning. Winners must comply with all rules, sign and return all liability and publicity releases or forfeit prize, and are solely responsible for all taxes. For complete official rules, visit our studio or webpage at www.kbtx.com.
Rent returns for its 25th anniversary Farewell Season of Love Tour. Experience this groundbreaking masterpiece for the last time. February 16th and 17th, Rudder Auditorium. Tickets at mscopus.org.
Registration is open for the 2022 American Heroes Dream Wedding Giveaway. If you're a Brazos Valley teacher, first responder, active duty, or veteran, go to AmericanHeroesWedding.com to find out how you can win a wedding for up to 75 guests, including a honeymoon.
You're watching News 3 at noon on KBTX.
More than 400 U.S. service members died aboard the USS Oklahoma in Pearl Harbor. The remains of many had not been identified until just a few years ago. One Navy war hero was laid to rest this week in San Antonio, closer to his family. Alicia Barrera spoke with his family.
Navy Fireman First Class Frank Nichols was born in Eau Claire, Wisconsin in January of 1917.
He enlisted actually 82 years ago today in the Navy, and he was assigned 2 months later to the USS Oklahoma. His younger brother actually joined at 17, and I guess he probably asked to be assigned to the same ships.
On December 7th, 1941, an attack on the USS Oklahoma in Pearl Harbor left 429 service members dead. While his younger brother survived, Nichols did not. His remains would then be buried as unknown in the Punchbowl National Cemetery in Honolulu, Hawaii.
And it was in 2016 that all the remains of the USS Oklahoma service members were finally identified thanks to the Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Accounting Agency. And it was then that the family of Frank Nichols knew that he needed to be closer to them in order to heal and honor the war hero.
His remains finally arrived on Friday to the San Antonio International Airport, thanks in part to the help of Mission Park Funeral and a petition from the family who lives in Austin.
We had long ago given up any thought of that happening.
Christopher was only 5 months old when his cousin died, and today he, along with other family, get a chance to salute Nichols.
I'm very pleased to see it.
The process of identifying these sailors began in 2013. In all, 429 service members were recovered and analyzed at labs in Hawaii and Nebraska. The price of your morning cup of OJ just could be more expensive. We'll tell you why this year's orange crop is set to be the smallest in decades. And as we go to break, here's another live look at the old City Hall in College Station, starting to be demolished today. We're back with your check of your forecast next.
Joe Biden refuses to secure our southern border. He's crippled law enforcement and emboldened dangerous drug cartels, criminals, and human traffickers. That's why the National Border Patrol Council
All right, everyone, welcome back to News 3 Now. Hope you enjoyed the last 30 minutes of your day. Sorry we weren't able to pull up the live stream of the demolition of the old City Hall, but the workers were on their lunch break. So similarly to all other humans, they needed a break. They needed to go eat lunch. So that's what happened over there. That's why we kind of saw some of the beginning of their 12 o'clock newscast, and then I had to throw up that standby slate because they're on their lunch break. But the construction, the tearing down, the unconstruction, deconstruction, whatever you want to call it, is still happening for the next 6 weeks. So you can head down there, you can watch. I'm sure we'll have it up later on our KBTX as well. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about some stuff that you need to remember from the show today. So the first thing I want you to remember is that the Brazos County Health District is no longer reporting our county numbers for COVID-19. Okay, so they're no longer reporting COVID-19 cases at the local level, and they're no longer using that COVID-19 dashboard on the health district website. So we are now getting our information from the Texas Department of State Health Services dashboard. I showed you that yesterday, but we are putting all of those numbers into a dashboard on kbtx.com under the coronavirus tab. So that is what this is. So we are taking the numbers from the COVID-19 dashboard on the DSHS website and adding them to our dashboard here. So you can find at the top new confirmed cases, probable cases, hospitalizations, deaths, and then at the bottom the total confirmed cases. That's throughout the duration of the pandemic. All right, so you're looking at new stuff up top, full pandemic timeline on the bottom. All right, one more thing to note is that it is National Blood Donor Month. The United States is currently experiencing the worst blood donation shortage it has experienced in over 10 years. And Krispy Kreme is actually going to be giving away free donuts if you show them that you donated blood this week. So now is the time. If you've wanted to donate blood, you want to save some lives, it is the time to go. Now, the Texas A&M Student Health Services posted this very helpful infographic just with some frequently asked questions and answers about donating blood. So take a look at this on your screen. If you have any more questions, visit aabb.org. Remember that you can go and donate blood here in Brazos County, either at the American Red Cross location in Bryan or at the Blood Center in College Station. Now, one more thing to note is that MSC Opus is having a flash sale today only. This sale ends at midnight. I cannot emphasize enough. Do not walk, run. Run to get these tickets online. $25 tickets to see either Beautiful, the Carole King musical, which is happening February 4th and 5th, or Rent, the 25th anniversary farewell tour, which is happening on February 16th and 17th. So if you go online to the MSC Opus or the box office at TAMU, then you can find, this is what it looks like. You can enter your promo code right here. When it asks promotional code, we entered the promo code $25 tickets and it was accepted. So that's how you can buy your discounted tickets. Again, that sale is only happening today until midnight. All right. So a couple of things to remember. That's it. Those are the couple things to remember. Okay. So something super cool is happening. If you love Jeopardy, which I love Jeopardy, of course we all miss Alex Trebek so dearly, but the show is carrying on, and we know that Ken Jennings is a household name that we know because he won the most consecutive games, the most money. He is the reigning Jeopardy champion, right? Well, right now, the reigning Jeopardy champ is Amy Schneider, and she hit another milestone on Jeopardy. She now has the second longest winning streak in Jeopardy's history. Last night, Schneider won her 39th game, breaking the 38-game record set last October. She is now behind just Mr. Ken Jennings, who with 74 wins holds the record of most consecutive Jeopardy game wins. Milestones on this game show are nothing new for Schneider. She is also the first woman to earn more than $1 million in winnings in regular season play. And she is the first transgender contestant to qualify for the show's Tournament of Champions. How awesome is that? Congratulations, Amy. We are so proud of you. Keep it going. Ken Jennings needs someone to compete with. I think he's so smart, and he really is. 74 consecutive games. Amy's getting up there, though, with her 39th win last night in qualifying for the Tournament of Champions. So awesome. All right, let's look at some very cute stories now. Let's start with this story. It is a story that is just more proof that we do not deserve dogs, we being the entire population on Earth. This golden retriever followed its owner in an ambulance all the way to the hospital. Look at this. So I think the question that we're all asking is like, okay, so what happens? This video stops when the dog gets to the hospital. I mean, does the dog get to come in? Does someone go and get the puppy that's waiting for its owner outside of the hospital? Why were people just stepping around the dog? So many questions from this video. But the point of the video is that dogs are amazing and we do not deserve them, and they're the best thing that's ever happened on the face of the planet, especially golden retrievers. That's my biased opinion. All right, so check out this story. This story, I hope, reminds you guys of me, I hope, because she is a designer that said that reading about tragedy after tragedy was taking a toll on her mental health, so she created a newspaper that only reports happy stories, which I like to believe I try to do here on News 3 Now. Check this out.
It's a real newspaper, which some people don't realise. It's a real 32-page newspaper, and it comes out quarterly, and it's basically a platform to share all the good things happening in the world, things that we don't necessarily hear about. Just there's feel-good stories, but also real positive changes that are happening in the world that we might not hear about as well. Two things that I noticed were impacting my mental health in a negative way were the news and social media. I think it was a sort of bombardment of that. I just thought, if there's something I can do to sort of shift this slightly and just turn it on its head a little bit. I realised it wasn't just me, and thought, well, if I can do this, and it was a bit of a novelty thing to start with. It wasn't supposed to be, well, I wasn't expecting all of this. It was trying to find the good in humanity and the good in people, in people in really awful times. And then as I started to look for more positive news, I was finding all these things that I thought I wouldn't know about. These things we're not seeing, these incredible acts of kindness and positive changes in the world and stuff like that. So, I mean, I thought I'll do this first issue and then everyone will realise that there is still good left in the world. And then obviously, as soon as people had the first issue, they were like, can't wait for the second issue. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing a second issue. I've sort of thought, I can't put a happy newspaper out now, like when this has happened, and sort of come in like, no, don't worry everyone, everything's sunshine and rainbows, because it's obviously not. So I always acknowledge those things. Around the Manchester, we had a teacher from one of the schools there who messaged and said, please can we get some happy newspapers, because the children are all distraught because they'd lost some of the students. And actually more recently we had a teacher from the Christchurch school in New Zealand who messaged and said, the children are incredible and so strong, but we're all just in, like, we don't know what to do, and we want to cover the walls in happy news stories, stuff like that. That is why I'm doing it. Well, yeah. I don't want to sort of take away from the real newspaper. It's like an unwritten rule that people pass it on to like their neighbour or their grandma, or leave it in like a doctor's waiting room or something. The amazing thing with newspapers is the more subscribers and things you get and wholesale orders lower the price of obviously of printing the newspaper, which therefore means we can lower the cost for schools and hospitals and places that I think need it.
I love that story. I love that story. And so now that we are thinking just happy thoughts, I've got one more super cute story for you. This toddler turned into a tiny hype man while watching an outdoor rock concert, and he got the whole crowd rocking with him as a result. You can hear his dad screaming, my son is a rock star. It's adorable and awesome, and it's our last story of the day. It's a good one.
What the hell? Russ. Oh, you the biggest fan? What the heck? Why he acting like he the star of the show? This boy is a real life rock star. What the hell? Rush, what the hell? Oh my God, my son is a rock star. Oh yeah, I like the suspense, Papa.
I definitely think that that is the best story to end on today. That is so cute and really makes me smile. I love it. I love when he puts his fist up and then the people in the crowd are like, okay, like we're here with you. We got this. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So two more things and then we'll end our show for the day. First thing is that today is National Plan for a Vacation Day. Now, I didn't read the rules, and I don't think it has to be an actual vacation. I think it can be a hypothetical question, or excuse me, vacation. But we're gonna check it out. Plan for a vacation day. Okay. That's not helpful. Celebrated today. Remind us to plan our vacation. Well, I don't know if we're actually supposed to plan like an actual vacation today. It basically is like just the early bird gets to pack their bags and fly away for fun. Plan your vacation today for one that you want to take this year. When it comes to taking a vacation, it's the planners of the world who get the job done. And so they say just try to plan your vacation today, and you know, they're giving us some tips, like determine how much time you get off, obviously. Coordinate calendars with your friends, family members, whoever you might be trying to coordinate your trip with. And then share your plans with boss, coworkers, family members so that you can plan ahead. So today is National Plan for a Vacation Day. So as we close out this month of resolutions, let's make sure that this year we are taking a vacation. Let's add that to our New Year's resolution. Let's make sure that we are taking one vacation this year. It doesn't have to be somewhere fancy. We don't all have to fly to Greece and, you know, see the pyramids in Egypt. We can just take a weekend trip with someone that we love a couple hours away and stay in a nice hotel. That's our vacation. Or how about this? We could do a staycation that still counts, and we can just ask for a couple days off of work, which we earned by working, look at your time off, and then plan to just stay home and relax, do a face mask, get your nails done, whatever. You don't even have to spend any money, right? Because vacations can be expensive. So if you don't have the money saved, let's make this accessible to everyone. Plan a staycation. Let's just make it our New Year's resolution to do something, either staycation, vacation, at some point this year. We can take a little bit of time for ourselves away from our workplace, and let's get it done sooner rather than later, so we can let our boss, our coworkers, our family and friends know that this is what we have planned. All right, so it's National Plan for Vacation Day. That kind of took a serious turn when I started talking about, you know, accessibility of vacations. But the whole purpose of why I was telling you that is because I want to know where you would go. So if this was a hypothetical situation and you today were given, you know, a couple $1,000 and someone was like, plan a vacation, where would you want to go? I want to know your answer. Right now, January 25th, wherever you're living, wherever you're watching from, you're sitting at home, whatever you're doing, where would you want to go for a vacation this year? You don't have to go today. You can plan it for the future. I want to go to Jerusalem, for example. I really want to make the trip out to Israel and see where some of my family is from, and you know, visit some cultural locations. I think Jerusalem would be a really cool trip for me. So that's something that I want to do. I don't know if that is super relaxing. So if I were to do a relaxing thing, I would definitely want to go to Hawaii. But I feel like that's the obvious answer. Most people probably immediately thought I want to go to Hawaii because, yeah, who doesn't want to go sit on the beach right now? It's definitely what I want to be doing because it's chilly here and I want the sunshine and the warmth, and I want to go see some sea turtles. So if you could plan a hypothetical vacation for yourself, you don't have to pay for it. Someone else gives you the money for it. Where are you going? I'm going to Jerusalem. That's where I'm going. That's my vacation this year. I hope. I wish. I don't know. It's going to take a lot of planning on my part. All right, so the other thing today is that today is National Opposite Day. So just make sure, I was thinking about this, like if you're gonna participate in National Opposite Day, make sure that people know that it's National Opposite Day, because if you say something mean and they are having a bad day, they could take it wrong, and then you have to be like, haha, like it's National Opposite Day. So like maybe preface it, or like, you know, put up a sticky note in the office or at home or something and let people know that it's National Opposite Day. Then if they take it personally, it's kind of their fault because it's National Opposite Day. So if you tell them, you know, oh, you know, I really don't like what you did with your hair, but it's National Opposite Day, then you're really saying that you love their hair, it looks great. Just, you know, be nice to people. Maybe don't play pranks on them unless they know it's National Opposite Day. Maybe start the conversation with that. I don't know. It's National Opposite Day. That's the other one. So National Plan for a Vacation Day, National Opposite Day. And on this National Opposite Day, remember that you are not loved and I am not happy that you're here. Get it? Just kidding. It's National Opposite Day. Oh man, I can't do that to you guys. I felt bad saying that, even with the wink, even with telling you that it's National Opposite Day. I can't do that to you. Pretend I didn't tell you it's National Opposite Day. It's just a day. It's just a day. We're planning our vacations, and you are loved, and I am happy that you're here. Of course you are loved, and of course I'm happy that you're here, okay? Whew. Can't be mean to you guys. You guys are the best. Thanks again for watching News 3 Now. We've got a very busy week ahead of us, y'all. We are going to be recording interviews this afternoon, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning. It is going to be a very busy week and into next week as well here on News 3 Now. So if you're able to watch, definitely appreciate that. If you're able to go back and watch later on, that's awesome too. I appreciate all the views and you guys spreading the word that this show exists. It's been a little bit of a difficult transition from Facebook to YouTube, but with your help, I think we can spread the word and let more people know that News 3 Now is here. It exists. I am here every single weekday at 11 o'clock, bringing you the latest news headlines and hopefully a lot of positive stories as well. So that's the goal here, just to make things a little bit different on News 3 Now, bring you some more happy stories. I know that it's not just that happy news only newspaper. That's what I wish I could do. I do have to give y'all some headlines as well because it's important for you to know about, but we try to make it as positive afterwards as possible. All right, y'all, I am blabbering on and on and on, and I can feel myself and I can feel you guys being like, okay, Abigail, wrap things up. So we're going to wrap things up. I'll send you on your way. Thank you for watching News 3 Now on this Tuesday, January 25th. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll meet you right back here on KBTX YouTube Live, the KBTX app, or the KBTX website at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right? And one more time for good measure, you are loved, and I'm happy that you're here.
Thank you for watching News 3. Local, trusted. Thank you for watching News 3. Local, trusted.